Hi, everyone. Welcome to Athletes to Entrepreneurs, the Alumni Journey. I'm Rob Finkelstein, founder of Alumni Direct, and we've created the premier platform for alumni worldwide to help spark connections in their affinity groups. And we're really excited to provide different types of content out there. And that's what this show is all about. We've created this show to help athletes, to inspire them, to educate them in their journey from athletics to their careers thereafter. And we'll have different types of athletes on. We're really excited today to have Adrian Archie on the show. And Adrian, thanks for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me, Rob. I mean, this is a privilege. We've known each other for a few years through my business, and you've been discussing this and working at this for, I know personally, for years. So I appreciate you letting me be a part of it, but really I congratulate you for getting this thing off the ground, because I remember 2 years ago when you were telling me about it. Here we are. So congrats.
Yeah, and it's been a journey and will continue to be one. Just quick background on Adrian. He went to University of Richmond, the Richmond Spiders. I actually went to University of Delaware, so we did play each other along the line.
Hands up. It's all good.
I think same conference or something like that. And I played linebacker in college, and ultimately came out, played a little bit in the Canadian Football League. Had a cup of coffee, right, with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Or do they say cup of coffee in football too, or is that just a baseball term?
Yeah, it's probably baseball, but I'll take it because that was probably the experience I had. Like literally, it was a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
and they didn't even give me sugar, so it's all good.
There you go. And then he had 10 years of sales experience in medical sales, and then ultimately decided to get out of corporate America. And as Adrian mentioned, how I met him is he has a fantastic pet business that he's trying to grow, and he'll tell you a little more about that later. But what we do is just kind of ask some different types of questions, fun questions. And the first one is, tell me about your journey playing sports as a kid and how that led you to college.
Sure. I'm a huge believer that experience, exposure, and practice is really the basis of success in my mind. And I started playing football when I was 6 years old. And I can recall like being young and crying and not wanting to go to the games and practices. And my mom made me go. And fast forward to high school, I'm one of the best players in the state and also have potential to go to college at a great school. So, I mean, that was my childhood. And most parents, I would think, would hope to give their kid a childhood like that so that they can actually be successful in this world. But my childhood was filled with sports, football, soccer. I played baseball. And the funny story is I have a 2-year-old, and I'm a huge racing fan, right? I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, so I'm a NASCAR fan, but I like car racing in general. So rather than her doing ballet at 6 years old, I'm fighting my wife so that she can get on the go-kart. Because if you start that early, you're gonna be great at some point, right? Because you're getting the experience. So that athletics is really foundational in my life, for sure.
Got it. And so as a kid, did you always dream of being a professional athlete?
Oh yeah, of course. I think I was always on defense. I was aggressive. So I love Mike Singletary, watching him play back in the day, Lawrence Taylor, because I was a defender, Ray Lewis. Yeah, so I mean, as a child, I wanted to be a vet, but I also wanted to go pro. And pro was probably first on that list for sure.
That's great. I mean, I joke around. I would have loved to be a pro athlete. Unfortunately, the skill set wasn't there, and that's what's landed me here doing this.
Well, I tell you what, it's not all glamour and gold. I mean, it's a grind. Like it's just physical work and it's cutthroat. So I got tired of it. Once they cut me, it's not like I walked away and told them goodbye. Once they cut me, I moved on. I didn't want to continue to pursue it. It just wasn't fun anymore. And I left on my own terms, which I think that's important as well.
Absolutely. So now, when you went to University of Richmond, and I ask a lot of athletes is, what kinds of things do they do there in college to help prepare you for that career afterwards, if it's not in sports, to go into the business world or wherever it might be?
So when I was at Richmond from '98 to 2000, our head coach Jim Reed was. I mean, I don't know if they make coaches like him anymore. Like, you showed up on time, you did everything right, you studied hall. So I would say that he did a great job with just his expectations and the way he ran his program, that was support enough for us. But on the career front, I think is where athletes are disserviced by every school, because most of those guys that play college football or college basketball or swimming are not going to go pro, right? So it's kind of sad that universities sometimes just exploit the player for 4 years, and then they don't have a diploma to go home with. So, and I think it's hugely important of the success that it takes to do anything, and that's my opinion.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that's some of the things that we're looking at doing is we really want to help in that. And I've talked to you a little bit about just trying to help athletes when they're in school, promote them. What's that? The title that, where athletes now can promote themselves. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I don't know the Title 10, maybe. I don't know the number,
Yeah.
but I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Because when I think back on my college life, I mean, I was on full scholarship, and people that don't go to school on athletic scholarships, it's a job, right? And oh, by the way, I have to do school too. So I mean, it's important that you're part of that and doing it. It just doesn't happen by itself. And athletes, without tenacity and our experience and our competitive level, it fits.
And that's I think there's a lot of great points there. And what we're trying to do is to create this platform, and we've got something that's going to be coming in, on our site in the near future called Athletes Corner. And the idea is to create a space where the college athlete can promote themselves, and maybe also alumni athletes as well. But I think I'm trying to align myself with different people. There's some people out there that are doing things to help athletes out. Like what they want to do is they want to help them in their journey, maybe once they're done with sports, and whether it be in finance, or there's another group we're working with that wants to come in and help athletes with social media and prepare them for just some of the grind that they might face in that world.
Yeah, I mean, it's important because you go to school for that many years, and you should come out, if you're not going pro, with the ability to start a life that is based on all of the things you built in an athletic career, right? But if you are leaving, I think most kids that go to college, they're starting internships their junior year and stuff. Why? Whereas athletes, it's tough to do that because of your schedule. So they get behind the 8 ball, and then they graduate, and pro was their goal. It doesn't happen. How do they continue to navigate that road well? Well, you have thousands of athletes that in most cases understand what they're going through right now in college and willing to help. We've moved up in life. We've accomplished some things. We've got experience. So yeah, I mean, who better to help them make that leap than former athletes?
Yeah, and I always had a conversation with actually, it was an agent. She was telling me about one of her players, and this guy wanted to go back to his university and give back and talk to the athletes. It was almost like for some reason it was kind of shunned that that they didn't want him to come back, which that doesn't make sense. I mean, I think it's imperative to give that platform and help everybody out.
Yeah, I mean, it may be, and I don't know, but it may be the case that depends on the coach. To be honest with you, on how that works. My coach, Coach Reed, was adamant that we were men and we did things right, and so it was really no reason to go outside of that, right? But I think a lot of times some programs, you're so busy and you don't know you have to basically stay focused on one thing. So you shouldn't get left behind when you've given so much to that school and so much work, right? It should be a platform for people to touch base with each other. And I know it's a lot of athletes that want to do that. So your platform will definitely facilitate what we're already kind of doing, at least at Richmond. And I know other schools have much more robust programs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is, kind of what we're about. And just to ask you is, how do you utilize your relationships with alumni? I mean, it could go across the board, whether it's athletes or anything, but is that something that's part of your fabric?
Yeah, I mean, four of my best friends in life were my teammates in college same year. We literally talk every day through text or something, eat whatever. Like we're that close. It's other guys in the program that I'm close with as well. But when you go through the hardship of being a successful college athlete, you bond with people that are there for your whole life, right? And those relationships, you really can't replace them. So yeah, I talk to people, especially in my class, all the time. And that's 21 years out of college.
Wow, that's great. That's really great. So take me through your journey to entrepreneurship. So you talked about being in the corporate world. Just to kind of take us on that journey and some of the things that led you to that, and then maybe some advice that you can give other athletes of what they can do in that same journey.
Yeah, for sure. So I look at life as, and I have a lot of opinions, but I look at life as that in order to accomplish something, you have to gain the experience to do it. And a lot of times the experience is just jumping out the door and doing it. I use what I was able to do, and I still try to do in life, is use my past experience and combine them to what I'm doing now, right? I wanted to be a vet. So I worked at vets throughout middle school and high school. So I got a lot of knowledge there. So it helps me talk to customers about their pets today. I had sales experience. So it allows me, and I sold to neurosurgeons, right? So probably some of the most intelligent, educated people on this planet. In order to influence them and get them to move, you really develop good sales skills. And so I use that in my business, breaking down information for customers. And then you throw in the athletics, and that's just competition and perseverance and accountability, being able to control your emotions even when things are going out of hand, because you learn how to do that in athletics. So that's what I would, if I was talking to younger players, guys just coming out of college, lean on what you've gotten experience in the past. Now, coming out of college is tough because you may not have any work experience, but you still have some intangibles that you may have picked up in athletics or from somewhere else, that apply it to your life. Every experience is good if you harness it, right, and learn from it. So it's important.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. And I think, I guess, you hear different stories about athletes. And I guess, one of the biggest, issues is just that, you're dedicating your whole life. And I mean, you kind of alluded to before, just the hours that you put in, the blood, sweat, and tears to make it to these different levels. So
I missed I just recall that I missed your second part of that earlier question. So I think it's great that the athletes can get paid in college, because like you just said, you give them your life, right? I mean, I barely had a college experience, and I'm not complaining, but if we were that focused on football and winning and getting our work done. So I think it's huge that these colleges give these players a chance to support themselves. And have the opportunity to do it without having to do it in a shady way, right? Yeah. So I think it's important. I've actually had a couple of Richmond players that I don't know, young guys that are there now that I don't know, but they reached out to me and asking me could I sponsor them. So it's probably a bit of the wild, wild west right now. I'm just trying to figure it all out. But I think it's a huge opportunity because, again, everybody ain't going pro, right? So, if you don't get to leave school and get drafted and make $10 million your first year, you should leave with some type of benefits for your likeness and your talent and getting people to come to games and watching TVs. They deserve that. Wholeheartedly. And I'm kind of envious that we didn't have the opportunity for that, right? Because you work your butt off.
Yeah, no, for sure. What's it's interesting. I think about what is and I guess every school is different, but what's the interaction between the athletes and alumni? And I know, so I mean, you probably hear a lot of stories and maybe some of the bigger schools and donations, but not that, but more so like, how do they, in your experience, at least at Richmond, were alumni real involved, and did they get excited by the players, and did they talk to players and things to that nature?
Yes, I know at Richmond it wasn't there when I was there, and I think we're probably the group that started. It's a group of guys, Winston October, who played in the CFL, and now he's a coach up there. He and a couple of other guys that are 2 or 3 years older than me set it up. So, I mean, I know it's an organic thing that's happening. Bigger schools, I think they have it's easier because you have celebrities and everything,
Sure.
people want to come back, right? But at smaller schools, that's important as far as people being engaged and wanting to be a part of it. But I mean, I love to help, right? So if somebody, athlete that didn't even go to Richmond called me and I can help, I'll help. That's my passion. So I know we're doing it more. And that's why this is exciting to tell them about what you're doing, because the solution that they're using to communicate now is an app. I won't even say the name of the app, but it's very cumbersome. It's not easy to use.
Right.
And it's kind of discouraging to use so I think with a good, solid, efficient venue where you can meet and talk and interact and share documents and share information, I think that will change the world for athletes, right? And I would hope that universities would want that to happen. I don't know the landscape, maybe they don't, but that should be the goal, is that your student athletes not only win championships and fill the seats, but they're also smart and have potential after college too. Right.
No, that makes sense. No, that's good. So tell us more about what you're doing now, and this is the chance to plug. So I kind of gave the 30,000 foot view before, but give me Adrian's story of what you're doing today and how people can find you and what they could do to help your business out.
No, awesome. Thanks for the opportunity. So petNmind is my business. We're a holistic and natural brick and mortar brand. We focus on the most high quality nutrition and hygiene products for dogs and cats. And the goal there is to not just carry the best and most appropriate, but the goal is to also empower the pet parent, right? I truly believe, I'm an animal lover, have pets all my life. I got 2 dogs, 2 cats now. And they contributed a lot to my life as far as learning empathy, responsibility, and that's why so many people adopted dogs during COVID, because everybody was mentally challenged, and pets, especially dogs, can alleviate some of that. So our goal is to harness that relationship and heal our communities through the pet and the pet parent. But the problem is that most people don't understand nutrition for pets, right? 39% of people out there are looking for information about pet food that they're not getting from their vet or other sources. So I realized, being a pet owner, that that's a huge gap. So we carry the best, we interact and give the customer a top-notch experience, because they want solutions, and we have the conversation with them and build that relationship. So that's the goal of petNmind, and we've been here 6 years. We're a little different than most concepts because we're beginning to franchise the concept, and the difference in what we're doing versus other pet concepts is that we're small format, and meaning that the store is no more than 2,000 square feet with the full retail and service complement to it. So we're very focused, we're curated, we know the solutions that people need, we carry that, but the small format piece of it is quickly shown that it makes sense, especially moving forward because of COVID and all the uncertainty that's in the world right now. Things may get shut down, this may happen. But in the end of the day, the pet industry keeps growing. So that's why we're franchising it. And why wouldn't you want a business that, one, is a profitable industry all the time, 2, you're helping people, and 3, you get to, I lost my train of thought, but you get to basically be a part of other people's success and have a business that can pivot really easy because it's not big, right? During COVID, we were able to immediately switch what we're doing, deliver more curbside, and it was overnight, right? Big brands can't do that as easy. So one of the top selling points of our franchise offering, if people are interested, is that we're flexible, is that we're set up for the future uncertainty of our economy and structure right now. So that's what we're doing, right? Small format, nothing like it. We want to create access to the pet industry for everybody, right? The pet industry is always fruitful. Right. It's going to actually triple in growth, revenue growth by 2027. So it just eclipsed $100 million earlier this year. And by 2027, excuse me, 2025, it's going to be over $300 billion industry just
Wow,
in the US.
that's crazy.
So when you think about, okay, pandemic, petNmind was open because we're essential. We had pet food. When you think about the uncertainty, you don't want a business that's stuck in the mud. So what we're doing, the small format gives everybody access because most people can afford an investment, take advantage of the healthy pet industry, build some generational business knowledge and wealth, and do it in a way that is really what people want. Because our investment isn't high, but the experience is the best you're going to find, right? And that's where we're fitting in there. And it makes sense to me because I love the help. And I know a lot of people don't, especially potential business owners, don't know the significance and the potential in the pet industry as one thing. And then two, they really don't have a good guide on how to get in it, even if they do know.
Gotcha. And I would imagine like your competitive nature and then just the willingness to help, because you kind of alluded to, you got the big box stores out there, but you're giving a better experience, a little more kids. It's kind of like when you go to Home Depot and you can't find anybody to help you. So like if you're going to go to, whether it be Pet Supermarket or some of those other Petco's, the large stores, they're not getting that same experience when they come to petNmind.
Exactly. Well, and we have to deliver a better experience. We have the products we sell versus big box stores are different. We're differentiated. We have better quality stuff, but those big box brands have multiple locations and when you get a pet, you almost arbitrarily go to them. But that's just is what it is. So as a small business, so it's a lot of exposure. We don't get the same benefit as the big brands. We don't get the same grace as the big brands from customers. So that's a challenge, and it's something we focus on all the time. And experience is really the only way to crack that, right? You have to offer insight and solutions that make them feel good about interacting with your business. And they really don't do that in big boxes as younger kids that may not have any expertise at all. But at petNmind, it's simply our goal to help. So the best way to do that is by is through what we're doing with our business. And that's why the competitors worry us slightly, but I've always had competition, and we're fitting into a very specific part of the market that really the big box in some cases e-commerce can't even touch because of that interaction, which you don't get anywhere else. It's hugely important. If people go read our reviews, you'll see what people say, and it's important. People love their pets, right? So that experience is very important for our loyalty. We don't get the same grace as big brands do. You get mad at PetSmart, you'll still go back to PetSmart. You get mad at petNmind, I may never see you again.
That's right. So my plug again, go to his store in Parkland. It's fantastic. If you're in Parkland, Florida, nice weather this time of year, of course. But what's the website and just kind of like if somebody is interested in a franchise, what do they do?
Sure. So the website is petNmind.com. It's a franchise link on there that'll take you to the franchise page. Or if you just want to look at the franchise, it's the franchise page is buyapetfranchise.com, just like it sounds, all one word. And if you're interested, reach out. I'll put you in touch with my franchise sales director, and she can run you through all the questions. And if you want to go farther after that, we'll formally sit down and go through the FDD, which is the disclosure document that tells everything about the franchise, and move it forward. So, we're still at the emerging level with this. So we're looking for self-starters because we just started franchising. We know how to service the customer from a pet perspective, but franchise is new to us. So reach out. You can go to that website, leave your information. We'll get in contact with you. If you provided my email, Rob, I don't mind that, but reach out. We'll love to talk to you. I think you'll be intrigued on the potential of doing business in the pet industry, especially moving forward. Millennials are the number, millennials took over at the end of 2020, 19 maybe, as the largest group of pet owners. And millennials have another 40, 50, 60 years on this earth, right? So the pet industry is here to stay.
Oh, we all love our pets, and Adrian, it's been great talking to you. It's fun, and this is something that you can find us at alumnidirect.com, and we're really, this is something we want to do is help out all types of alumni, whether it be from college and universities, whether it be business alumni or athletes. I think there's a need for it, and we want to be part of that. So come out to our site, come join us on future shows. We're going to continue to have athletes on like Adrian, this has been a lot of fun. I've truly enjoyed it, and we appreciate your time.
I appreciate yours, my friend. Obviously, I'll be in touch, but go knock them out of the park.
Yeah, we will.